I grew up ashamed to tell people which neighborhood I lived in. Every time a humble place with a large Black population like mine appeared on TV, it was to talk about poverty or violence. Some years ago, the major news website in Brazil was criticized for naming a place just like mine as a banker of bandits on a headline. Their intentions were to revealing that a lot of criminals would be hiding there. But by naming this way, they ignored the families and workers who made that place their homes. And that's how I grew up, knowing that society saw me. The mountains and the waterfalls in my neighborhood, the typical parties that the neighbors organized, nothing I liked about my neighborhood was ever valued or appeared on TV. To change this biased coverage toward Black people and Black space, it is necessary to bring more Black journalists into the newsrooms to tell their own stories, because unfortunately, they are just 12% in Brazil, while the Black population is 54%. But in the meantime, journalists of all races and backgrounds need to be trained in how to portray the Black people fairly. And that's what I propose to address with the anti-racist newsrooms training. Journalists and media outlets are more than aware of the problem. Research conducted in England in 2020 by LSE and other conducted by the Media Diversity Institute all over Europe discovered that lack of knowledge, tools, methodology, and lack of in-house training are pointed out as the main obstacles to good reporting on ethnicity. Our journalistic training helps media outlets that want to be at the forefront of the issue of racial diversity by enabling reporters to portray the Black community in a more fair way and reducing the risks of errors when dealing with the racial issue and consequent boycotts. The training will teach them to look at linguistic prejudice, find representativeness in their sources, and how to quantify Black participation on news. The training will be given in person with close monitoring of the development of those being trained and follow up to accompany the changes implemented along with the newsrooms. I led my first training sessions for newsrooms in Brazil, providing guidance on how to report the racial issue to newsrooms that reached more than 100 million Brazilians every month. So I put together my years leading journalists, the knowledge I acquired on a master in diversity and media, and my personal experience as a Black media professional to gather some powerful tools that aim to make newsrooms evolve strategically towards a journalistic practice that can improve our society. Brazil is a country of continental dimensions that has a large and well-established media market. There are more than 150,000 media companies, and TV stations alone, we have more than 20,000. As my training is customized for each newsroom, I have a lot of territory to explore. The income will be generated by direct selling through close contact with my customer base, first small online newsrooms from Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo, later expanding to the rest of Brazil. There will be no cost with intermediates, which among others is one of the details that makes these trains a low risk business, and I intend to take advantage of this. The model will be pay as you go, with a price per day of 3,000 reais or 500 pounds in the first year, increasing in value to 5,000 reais in the second year and 10,000 in the third one, when the business is well established and I am in contact with larger media outlets. I will continue to work as a journalist, so this will be a part-time business, which once again benefits from the low initial risks and will also be reflected in the sales forecasts that I will use now. These are the values for the sales forecast for years 1, 2, and 3, which will generate at the end of year 3 a total sales income of 945,000 reais or 157,000 pounds. With the low initial investment that I need and equally low costs to make the business go forward, the net profit at the end of year 3 will be 874,000 reais or 145,000 pounds. This training will have a pretty simple route to the market with video presentation on the training, as well as graphics and charts with data about the subrepresentation and bias in the press, both to be shared on a LinkedIn leading to our website. I also plan on making university lectures with some short versions of the training to be shared with students that can lead the proposal of the training to the companies that they are starting to get into. One of the questions that you asked me in the feedback on my first video is how would I protect this content as a company? The truth is that due to the nature of social transformation included in the training, my wish is that these tools spread. I do not intend to be protectionist with them. The network that I already have with 8 years of profession in Brazil, well, this is for free, but it will be one of my main areas of action in the dissemination of the training. Our website will be built to review how the training works, but mainly to engage potential clients. We will have a quiz on the home of the website for them to see in what stage of diversity their newsrooms are. We will track the entrances to know from where the interest in the training is coming, and we encourage them to, through a push box, to schedule a meeting. The prize will be spent precisely with a developer to create the website with these features and boost marketing actions on social media. I hope after this presentation, you are as excited as me to change the racial bias in the press and bet on anti-racist newsrooms as one of the finalists.